it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the Age of Sigmar. We are returning to the realms of Ghyran once more with the Sylvaneth and the all-new Grove Guardian. Oh, look at this model. Isn't it absolutely spectacular? I love it. I can't wait to jump in and start painting it. So a massive thank you goes out to Games Workshop, who sent me this one early to build up and paint with all of you. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing now. So it's been primed in Wraithbone, and well, the first colour we're going to be using is not a contrast paint, it is in fact going to be some thinned down Dryad Bark, and we're going to be applying this over top of the body, and just the body of the Grove Guardian itself. This might require 2 thin coats just to make sure it's a nice and strong Dryad Bark colour, but having recently done Alariel, I've fallen in love with this paint once again. I really love the colour, so that's why we're doing it. So we're going to get this all over like this. With that Dryad Bark all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade. And we're actually now going to apply this over top of all of the wood, both shading the Dryad Bark and colouring in the rest of it. Now it is going to be a very different colour after this, so don't worry if it's a little bit patchy in places. We're doing some very heavy dry brushing after this. So that Agrax Earthshade all applied, it's still drying on the body of the Grove Guardian, but what we're going to do is just on the Agrax Earthshade here, is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of lime in medium and Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of this Agrax Earthshade. So with that all done, it's now time to do a bunch of dry brushing and a little bit of blending, except not all at the same time. So we're going to start with some dry brushing, and the colour we're going to be using is some Gorthor Brown, and we're going to be dry brushing this over the top of our Dryad Bark. It's going to be a pretty heavy dry brush here, and if you want it to be super heavy, we can go for a sort of circular motion to really just kind of make sure all of the wood panels are nice and layered. With that Gorthor Brown all applied, we're then going to take some Baneblade Brown. I'm going to be a little gentler here, but we're still looking to get a pretty decent coverage around the torso. And with that Baneblade Brown all applied, we then take some Karak Stone. And this is going to be our kind of spot highlight for the Grove Guardian. We want to just be really gentle around the sharpest areas. Just like that. However, the other thing we're going to do with the Karak Stone is we're now going to start dry brushing this over the top of the rest of the bark. With that all done, just around the face, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Rakarth Flesh. And we're going to dry brush this over the top. So with that Rakarth Flesh dry brush all applied, now comes the biggest dry brush, which is to take some Grey Seer. And we're going to be pretty heavy-handed with this over the top of all of our areas that we want to be quite birch-like. So we're going to be in our sort of circular motion like this. Leaving that lovely brown that we've achieved with our shades in the recesses. And with that grey sear all applied, we're then going to dry brush over the top with some Pallid Wych Flesh. So just before we come to do any kind of extra sort of curricular bits, well, this is more of an extracurricular bit. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of Nuln Oil and we're just going to strengthen out just a couple of these little recesses where we've got some really good shading, but the dry brushing has been a little bit heavy. So with that all done, it's now time to work on that blending we talked about earlier on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lamia Medium and Black Templar. And we're going to start applying this towards the ends of all of these branches. So just up here it's fine, we don't need to do any blending. And same along there, like so. However, what we're going to do then is we're going to bring this down the branch, starting just in there. Like that. Wash the brush, touch off the water, then we're just going to blend that out into all of the stuff we've done so far. Same again on the other side. Down to about the same area. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just blend it in like that. We're doing this along the ends of all the branches. So for example, just here, wash the brush, touch off the water, blend, other side. apply. Do either side. Wash the brush. Touch off the water. Blend. And blend. Just like that. And we're going to be doing this across all of these bits, really. So with that all done, we now need to introduce a little bit of green to this affair. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some Militarum Green, and we're going to apply this in a blend over the top of the Black Templar, but not quite as long as the Black Templar blend. So for example, here on this large branch, we're going to get this over the top down to around about there, like that. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and then just blend that into the rest of the black, like so. We're just going to finish that off because we've got something else to do with the Militarum Green. There we go. Get this over the top. Lovely. Wash the brush. Give that the blends. There we go. Alright, so the other thing that we're going to do with the Militarum Green is over the vines of the hair we're going to apply this. Now it doesn't matter if we catch the leaves as well, but they are going to be a slightly warmer green. So we're just going to start up here by the headdress. And just get this all over the top. Might as well just do this over the leaves as well. Save ourselves a headache. Whilst we're waiting for all that Militarum Green to dry, what we're going to do is going to take some Mantis Warriors Green, and we're going to apply this over top of these little roots under all the flowers. And because we're still waiting for the Militarum Green to dry, we're going to take a little bit of Seraphim Sepia. I'm going to apply this over top of the head, just to introduce a little bit of warmth. Like that. So with that all done, over the top of our Militarum Green areas, we're back to dry brushing. What we're going to do is we're going to take some Elysian Green, and we're going to dry brush this now really gently over the top. And with that Elysian Green all applied, we're then going to do a dry brush of some Moot Green. It's going to be really, really gentle and very, very targeted. So we just want to pick out the sharpest little corners in all those green areas that we just did. Like that. But the main point of focus is going to be on the hair, where we're going to concentrate the dry brush quite strongly around the leaves. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Warp Lightning, and we're going to apply this over the top of the leaves. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Dorn Yellow. And we're going to really very gently hit the vines. Towards the bottom and the top and over the leaves. So with that all done, it's now time to finally move on to a different colour that isn't sort of an earthy tone. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to take some Leviadon Blue. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of the sort of hard carapaces, I guess, is what you'd call these, of all of the sprites. With all of that Leviadon Blue applied, we're then going to take some Dreadful Visage. And we're going to apply this over the top of the underbellies. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Doomfire Magenta. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the leaves of all of these lovely flowers. Now, it's not going to stay this colour, so don't worry. But we want to get this over the top of the whole thing. And we're just going to do a simple way of painting these, rather than the difficult way, which is to do lots and lots of awkward blending with lots of colours and lots of thinned down paint. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Druchii Violet. And we're going to apply this over top of the blue and over top of the Dreadful Visage of all of our Zephyrs. Not Zephyrs, all of our sprites, that's what we're calling them. So we're going to do this. But what we're also going to do with the Druchii Violet is we're going to apply this over top of the Soul Amphorae that the Grove Guardian is pouring. I'm guessing Aqua Gyranus. Out of, maybe. And with that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Volupus Pink. And we're going to apply this inside the mouths of all of our sprites. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Sigvald Burgundy. I'm going to apply this over top of two areas. Firstly, I'm going to apply this over top of this little belt. Up here. Just like that sort of thing. And the other thing we're going to do with the Sigvald Burgundy is all of the thorns and the edges of these large petals, we're just going to colour it in. Across all the flowers. And with that Sigvald Burgundy all applied, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Fulgrim Pink, and over the top of the flat of the leaves we're going to just do lots and lots of little lines going all the way along the leaf from top to bottom, leaving just a little bit of the Doomfire Magenta at the ends. And with that Fulgrim Pink all applied, we're then going to do a very similar thing, just a little bit more targeted, over the top with some Pallid Wych Flesh. With the Pallid Wych Flesh all applied, we're then going to take a little bit of Imperial Fist, and we're just going to apply some little yellow patches towards the base of the leaves. So with that Imperial Fist all applied, we're then going to use some Frostheart and some Imperial Fist. And we're going to apply this over the top of the little drop of water. So we're going to start with some Frostheart. We're just going to apply this like so. And then wash the brush, grab some Imperial Fist, and over the rest of it we apply. So with that all done, we're now going to take some Briar Queen Chill, and we're going to apply this over the top of the Revenant in the tree and over the top of the Grove Guardian's weapon. Once all that Briar Queen Chill is applied and dry, we're then going to take some Coelia Greenshade, we're going to apply this over the top of the skin of the Revenant, but not the hair. And we're also going to apply this over the top of the weapon. So with that all done, we're now going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to apply this over top of all of our remaining details. And with all of that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Striking Scorpion Green, and we're going to apply this over the top of the eyeballs. Next up, it's back to Frostheart, only this time what we're going to do is we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Frostheart. I'm going to add just a little bit of sort of a nice bright blue to the blade. So we're just going to apply some of this Frostheart just here, like so. Wash the brush, touch off the water, and just blend that back. There we go. I'm going to do the same on the other side as well. Like that. And then what we're also going to do is around the sort of next part along, which is this section, just here. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to blend at either end. So we're going to apply the Frostheart like that. Wash the brush off. Touch off the water. And then give it the blends. Just like so. And then naturally we're going to do it on the other side as well. And then very similarly we're going to take a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Lahmian Medium and Striking Scorpion Green, and towards the base of the staff we're going to do a little blend. Just like that. And seeing as we're still waiting for that Retributor Armour to dry so we can shade it, what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush all of our sprites with some Fenrisine Grey over the top of their carapaces. And because we've done so much of it with dry brushing, we're just going to kind of continue with that trend just a little bit longer. And we're going to take some Pink Horror. And we're going to very lightly hit our Sigvald Burgundy edges in our flowers. With our gold now finally all dry, we can take some Reikland Fleshshade and use this to shade it. So with that Reikland Fleshshade all applied, it'd be tough to call this War Hipster battle ready because it is so much further beyond that. But that's technically the stage we're at this point. But we are on the home straight. So what we're going to do is we're going to next take some thinned down Squig Orange, and we're going to use this to pick out the eyes on all our little Zephyrs sprites. Like so. And what we're also going to do with this is use this to highlight her belt. So with that all done, we're then going to do probably our biggest highlight of the bunch, which is to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to highlight a bunch of details. So we're going to use this to highlight the little gem in here, which we've done with Frostheart. Like so. We're going to use this to highlight the weapon. Kind of like that. We're also going to use this Corax White to highlight the hair of the Revenant. As well. And we're also going to use this to highlight the Soul Amphorae. Forgotten how to speak. And we're also going to use this to highlight the water. But when it comes down to further down, we're going to block it in. So with that all done, it's now time to work on our final details, which are the gold ones. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking some thinned down Retributor Armour once again. I'm going to use this to just relayer all of these wide open flat bits. I want it to be nice and shiny. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2-part Stormhost Silver to 1 part Retributor Armour mix. I'm going to use this to highlight all of said gold. And finally, to finish things off on the Grove Guardian, we're going to take some Doomfire Magenta. And we're going to apply this over top of the gems. And there we have it, with the base completed in the same style as the rest of our Sylvaneth. Our Grove Guardian is now finished, and it is absolutely spectacular. I love this model. I think it's so characterful, so colourful, and so beautiful. I had an absolute blast painting it. I really like how all the wood came out. Yeah, it's a perfect blend really of classic and contrast plus all together at once really. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.